Love is hard already. Does interracial dating add unnecessary pressure or does it force people to grow beyond their comfort zone? Today's episode, we're going to talk about that. Is it really worth the trouble? And we're going to get into the social reality of it all, the data in the controversy, gender double standards is always that, children, identity, and long term issues. And we're going to have some raw debate questions. So stay tuned to Unfiltered with Psycho 4081.
Are you ready for some controversy? Yeah. Are you ready for some fun? Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for some laughs? Yeah. Let's get unfiltered with Psycho 4081.
Yeah, and we back. We're going to talk about this controversial topic of interracial dating. And for those who don't know what interracial dating is, that's mixing of the groups, the races, or ethnic groups. So you got, just for the people who are coming in, and we have the Spanish folks. So you got the Dominicans, you got the Puerto Ricans, you got Spanish, you got the Mexicans, all that. We're going to talk about that. So we talked about this before, coming up to this topic, and we decided that we're going to make it controversial. And the main question is love hard already? And does it add unnecessary pressure or does it force people to grow beyond their comfort zone? And we have 3-4 guests here that's we're going to get their perspective on it. And we're going to talk about some of the challenges when it comes to interracial relationships. And we're going to have some really, really good questions. And I just want people to be open and honest about, their opinion. Don't be scared. And, feel free to say what you want. And this is unfiltered. So talk as you normally would talk in your house. So how you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. So I'm going to call you guys by what you have on your input here. So we have Paul, Joy, Alexis, Nexus, and we have Hannah. So thank you guys for joining us today. But I'm going to have the first question I'm going to ask you guys is, do you find that interracial dating could be more difficult than with someone in your own ethnic group? What do you say? We're gonna go with Paul first since he's unmuted.
Okay, so it can be challenging, yes, because love anyway is challenging anyway. But
Okay.
dating someone outside of your race, it can be challenging, especially when you bring in other components like family members, environment, the way you was brought up. So that's challenging. That could be challenging. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Now, just real quick, have you dated someone outside of your race or ethnic group?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I have.
Okay. Let's go with Alexis Nexus. What do you think? You think it's harder?
I do. I think it definitely it could be harder. I have to add on to Paul and what he said in terms of, yes, environment, and how the person was brought up. I think it could be more challenging because of financially, the person may have difficulty or it may come easier, but that doesn't always make the situation easier. Their social life, right? When I think about other ethnicities and their type of social life versus, my Black type of social life. Yeah, the family is a thing. And I also think even down to the religion of other cultures sometimes is a thing. So there are multiple different facets of problems that could arise. That's what I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's more challenging.
Now, have you ever dated outside your race or ethnic group? And we're including high school too.
I would have to, you know what? Actually, yes, one time. Actually,
Okay.
I just thought about it. I have one time.
One time. Okay. And Joy, what say you? Difficult or not?
I'd say it's difficult.
Okay. Now, have you ever dipped onto the other side? Going back to as early as high school?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't really want to let any of my family, or well, some of my family knew about this gentleman, but I didn't want my friends to know because I'm pro-black pretty much, and I like to stay that way with my brothers, and so I wasn't trying to take him anywhere. I didn't want to be seen with him anywhere. But it was okay for him to come to my house in private, that kind
Okay.
of
You
thing.
didn't you
Yeah.
didn't take them to the cookout?
No, I did not. I did not take him to the cookout, but he was a family friend of. He was my brother's best friend, which my
Oh,
brother didn't
Right.
even know we were seeing each other.
Wow. Okay.
And we kept it that way. But and he was much older than me, like 8 years older, so that made it a problem as well because he's older,
okay.
Yes.
and I was yeah.
Yes.
All right. And Hannah, I see Hannah here. Hannah Montana. What do you think about?
I'm here.
You think it's difficult, more difficult interracial dating?
Yes, I do think it's difficult. Because first of all, I don't want to explain jokes to anybody, and yes, also yeah, sometimes you feel misunderstood. Different lived experiences, definitely cultural differences. That could be challenges in in an interracial
Okay.
relationship. And
Now,
no, I have not dated anybody
okay.
outside.
Okay. I was about to ask. Okay. So let me give you guys some of the things that this is what the data shows. If you call it data, whatever. Some of the common outside challenges that have been reported when it comes to interracial dating, including marriage. Um, they said public scrutiny and stares. So they said they felt uncomfortable being stared at and treated differently in public places. They had they experienced racism or unfair treatment. So such as challenges with security at airports or discrimination in housing. And it goes back to the family thing. A significant source of stress is facing or fearing disapproval from family members, which can lead to limited support networks. And a big one was cultural differences and misunderstandings. I mean, that's pretty much expected, somewhat. And then the stereotypes and prejudice. They said negative stereotypes can affect the partner's mental health and create a sense of isolation. So, no surprises there, right?
Yep.
No.
Okay. So first question is, and we already got we already established that it could be harder than most relationships. So is interracial dating harder because of the couple, or is it because of society?
I say it's
I
both.
think it. Yeah, I think both, but I think more or less, I think it borders more on society.
Okay.
Because those external pressures, you learn, you get your learning, and you get your views and your viewpoints from society, from the external pressures. So, um, if you're getting this narrative or these views, and they're constantly being taught to you or told to you, or you're constantly seeing these things, some people are going to, that's how they're going to develop. That's how they're going to think. That's how they're going to act. And so when society depicts interracial relationships as being negative or counterproductive,
Okay. So
people tend to go with that.
and just to clarify, when we talk about society, that means all the outside opinions, the family resistance, online criticism, right? You see that, and the stereotypes. So we're including all of that.
Yes,
So you say it's more society. That's what you kind of elaborated on.
I would say it's more.
More.
I would say it's more society.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hannah, what do you think?
I think it's both. Um, Even being together, sometimes you might not understand each other. You might not be able to get along in some areas. You might it's just a lot. It could be a lot. And then society, I don't know. I don't think so much of society.
All right. So
Maybe
throw this in here real quick. Now,
mhm.
Hannah is not born and raised in the U.S. She's from uh, Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So her perspective on that is going to be
A bit
obviously
different.
different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure that that
Yeah.
was thrown in there.
Yeah, for where I'm from, it's not. It's I don't think the society cares about you marrying somebody that is not. Except maybe for Chinese people, sure. Maybe if you get it by a Chinese person, because that's usually that's. But any other person, like a white person, a Black American, yes, they. I don't think. But then, yeah, I don't. So not so much. Or maybe a Chinese person or an Indian person, yes, maybe.
Okay.
But every other race, they. I don't think they care. They
Okay. So you wouldn't
welcome.
you,
Yeah.
in Nigerian society they wouldn't look at you any different if you was with a
Yeah.
European person
Mm-hmm.
versus
Mm-hmm.
an Asian or Indian, East
Correct.
Indian. Okay.
Yeah.
Joy, easier, the same? Is it from couples or society?
I think it's just society.
Okay.
People look at it and sort of some people frown on it, and some people just can't get over the fact that you would date outside of your race. Yeah.
Okay. More society, and that's us being black in America. We've seen it, and if you lived in a black neighborhood or black community, then we're bound to. I think we're uh more likely to lean on the society part, right? And then was it Alexis? Lexus Nexus. What do you say?
Yeah.
You say society?
I would have to lean more towards society as well, yes, because I think the pressures from society in different ways really shifts how people are hard on themselves or the relationships as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say society.
Okay.
It's harder,
So now,
actually.
now let me throw this stat out here and then see if it's acceptable or not or believable. Interracial marriage in America rose from 3% of newlyweds, and we spoke talking about specifically newlyweds, from back in 1967 is at 3% to 17 to 19% in recent years. Believable?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. More and
For
even though
sure.
it may seem like we still have the same problems, I think pretty much there's a lot of people who are more progressive when it comes to those things. So now I'm gonna ask all four of you the same thing. Would you date someone outside your race if your family strongly disapproved of it? Paul, and Paul is my brother, by the way. So I'm gonna I'm gonna ask him
Hello,
this,
everyone.
and I'm gonna call him out on that. Would you date somebody outside your race if the family strongly disapproved?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because I don't listen to the opinions of other people, even though it's my family. I do lean on advice, but um, I just believe in what I believe.
Okay. Okay. We try. Okay. Now we try to get on the text message. So, Joy, would you date someone outside your race if your family strongly disapproved?
No, I don't think I would do it.
Okay. Too much pressure?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wouldn't feel welcome, and then I would not want to go that route. No
Okay.
thanks.
And Alexis?
Um, I would, yes, I would.
Okay.
Because I don't think, yeah, I don't, I would, but yeah, I would.
So now we're gonna go with Panner. And that after you answer, I'm gonna ask you this follow up question because it's different for you. Would you date someone outside your race if your family strongly disapproved?
Family. I'm big on family. Where I'm from, we are big on family. So my parents. So no, it depends on the stage of my life. When I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I would. Yes, my parents were in charge and everything. But now I'm older and I'm here.
And they
So
can't beat you anymore.
whatever. So yeah. So But then already, I think we all have the same opinions. It's just this thing from when I was growing up. Like, I know the kind of people I can date, I can't date. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's already something inbuilt in me. So I can't just wake up and just find some certain people attractive. You get what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll
N-
just say that.
So
Mhm.
now, how much influence should a family have on adult relationships? Really, that's a thing that you have to think about. And then, is choosing your partner over your family, would you consider that selfish or necessary? And that's for the people who said they would date someone even though the family disapproved. So that was what Paul and Alexis. Choosing your partner over your family, is that selfish or necessary?
Well, I don't believe it's selfish because you're not choosing your family, you're just choosing your personal happiness. Or
Okay.
in that case, if it's selfish, then I'm going to be selfish.
Okay. Okay.
It
And
ain't necessary.
and Joy. Now you said definitely you would, if you wouldn't want to go through that without the when you had the family pressure. Is that, would you consider that necessary or
Well, I
being
was going on your hypothetical because I haven't been raised to
okay?
only want to be like my parents don't believe that any color or race of people should be, alienated.
Okay. So it's they're, you said they're open, but they have a preference. Can we assume that?
For me, I was taking that as your hypothetical situation you gave me because my family doesn't care what race I date, so I
Okay.
can choose whatever I want. I have that freedom.
Okay. So nobody here, does anybody think it's selfish that to choose your partner over your family?
I do. I think it is an act of selfishness, but I think in life there's a percentage of selfishness that should be chosen in general. No matter the subject, there's a percentage that should be chosen because it's for you, it's for your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about
Exactly.
others. So I would
Exactly.
agree. Yeah, I think it's a selfish act. And I think that once again, once you get over a certain age, it's okay to be selfish because, like, at what point are you going to start living for you versus society or anybody else other than yourself?
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Hannah.
Oh wait, so for me, family always plays a big role
Mm-hmm.
in our relationships. So let's take for example, there's an issue with your partner or your spouse, whatever. Your family comes together to, the two families have to come try and settle. Your family is the one person that your partner can go to talk about you, to try and get you
To
back.
mediate.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So family really plays a big and important role. You don't want to be alienated where you're choosing your partner. If it fails, you want to go back running to your family and everything. So it's family plays an important role for me.
Okay, so for the Americans here, we I guess this is what we're getting at, is that family doesn't have a lot of influence on your relationship, an adult relationship, but whereas Hannah, who's from Nigeria, definitely family has a lot of influence on your adult relationship. Okay, that's expected, I think. Now this goes for dating and your personal opinion. Don't have to be you in particular, but think about it. Are people truly colorblind in dating, or does everyone have like their racial preferences? So my question to you is, what do you think about other people? And then I'm gonna ask you, what about you? Do you have a racial preference? We're gonna go with Paul.
I think that there's no such thing as colorblind.
Okay.
Um, but as far as virtue preference, I think are you asking me
Yes,
and
you.
specifically?
Yes.
I don't have a racial preference.
Okay.
I like all types of ice cream.
Okay. So no, not one over the other. All of them are on equal
No,
grounding.
no, yeah, because I've dated my fair share of black women.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated white women, Hispanic women. Right now, I'm dating a Filipino woman, and not a Filipino American. She's Filipina,
Her,
you
she,
know.
she's
And
her,
so,
her background. She's Filipino.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, okay. Um, let me. I thought about this, and I'm gonna be honest. I do have. Um, oh no, I want to ask you about the thing. Why don't you think nobody can truly be colorblind? Now, I know you said that. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Alexis this based on what you said. Alexis, why do you think people? Because I know she's gonna co-sign on this. I already know. Why do you think people truly
Yeah.
cannot be colorblind in dating?
Um. All right. I actually. All right. I think that people can't truly be colorblind in dating
Mm-hmm.
because I think that pretty much this whole world has been colonized by the white
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so at some point, somebody's culture has been influenced by white people, and
Yes.
that influence particularly puts a close eye on differences between racist people, ethnic, all of the things um,
Yes.
of people of any kind of difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why people can't turn a blind eye to it.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So
my opinion.
let me ask any of
Yeah,
you.
I agree. I agree.
Let me ask any of you. At what point does having a preference? Like I said, I'm going to say I have a preference. Right. There's a pecking order. I'm not against interracial dating or marriage. None of that. But for me personally, there's a pecking order. There's a 1 through 5. So at what point does preference be considered a prejudice?
I don't think preference is a prejudice. I
Okay.
think everyone has their. We are all unique individuals who like different things, and nobody's the same. And your preference and my preference may be totally different, but your preference is not wrong because that's what you prefer.
Okay. So
Mm,
okay,
I got an answer for that.
go ahead, Lexus.
I think at the point where you are using it for gain
Mm-hmm.
of status or gain of whatever. Like I know, and I've recently just learned this within the last 6 months of my life, that there's a lot of Hispanic women who particularly try to. Don't quote me. I believe this is it. Marry a white man because then they can hide almost behind the white man, and then like certain Hispanic problems or things are not really there anymore because then they have a white guy who is the front and center. And I think that
Yeah,
that
I
at
heard
that
that.
point it's
Yes.
more of a problem. But
Okay.
it's funny though, it's not really a problem because for them that is actually accepted in their culture. So it's not problematic. It's actually helpful and it's praised upon them
So
that that happens.
but could that be considered prejudice too? Because they're even if they go outside of their own group, that they would go for a white man versus like a Latino man or a black man. Why the white man? That's the question will be asked.
It can go both
Why them?
ways.
Okay. Okay.
The prejudice could go both ways. Whether the white people are looking at the fact that this Hispanic woman or is with the white guy, or if the Hispanics are looking at her for being with the white guy, it doesn't. It can go both ways.
Okay. So for the
It could.
for
It
the
could.
for the you three, and I'm not sure. I don't remember who said that they would actually they don't care about the dating. Did any of you guys have a pecking order, like a that you put one of them in front of the other? No, Hannah,
I do.
you do. Okay,
Definitely going.
Okay.
For me, it's not even about white people. I'm taking my own people, Nigerians first before
okay,
anybody else. Yeah. So yeah. So right now, I'm just like close knitted with them. So I don't think I have a preference though. Like if I get to know maybe some black people, I mean some Americans. I'm sorry.
mm,
So yeah. So if I get to know them and probably mix with them, I don't think I have a preference. But right now, I'm just saying that the people that are closer to me are more Nigerians than
so
American.
so in your let's say your top five, you're separating your number one would be Nigerians,
I would even
obviously.
I won't even date another African. So, yeah.
Okay.
So it's Nigeria, then maybe black. Yeah,
The Black
Nigeria,
Americans. Then.
black American, then maybe white, and that's
Okay.
the top three for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think for me,
Go ahead.
I think for me, I mean, of course, like I'm always my first choice.
Wait a minute. Wait a
If I
minute.
had to make,
Wait a minute. You
yeah,
said everybody's even. Everybody gets that same employee card.
yeah, no, everybody do get an employee card, but if you asking me to pick a top five, what I'm saying is that I mean I'm always look for a black sister first,
Okay.
but I'm not necessarily saying okay, well that person is at the top. I'm if I find a black sister that fits me and we match and everything, the vibe is good, that's great.
All right. So let me
But
put it
like I
this
said,
way.
I
Let me
go,
let me let me simplify this. Okay.
yeah,
You have 5 women. All
yes,
5 women are different. I mean, they're different races. They all have the
okay,
same qualities. They have the same everything. Matter of fact, you don't even know them
okay,
apart except for their
right,
cultural
right,
background. Whatever that
right.
comes with. Who are you picking first?
Oh, I'm picking up the black sister.
Okay, number 2
Uh, I mean, what are they? Black,
is
Everyone
white?
else.
there's well, all right.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
there's African. When I say African, that's the black diaspora, black, Latino, Asian, European, and I guess that covers everybody. Or Native American.
Okay, okay. So I'm going black American,
Hmm.
uh, um, black African,
They all in the same group.
Latino.
Okay,
Yeah, Latino,
Latino,
Asian, European.
European. Okay,
Eh, yeah.
then
Also, I've heard that white. So let me tell you, white men they treat women better, and they're richer. They have money. They are focused,
okay. So
Who,
and
I'm
who,
glad you mentioned that.
who said
yeah,
who said white men? Who
No, no,
said
no.
white
Hold
men
on.
treat?
Let her finish because I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna add on to that.
They're better. They're better lovers. They are more attentive. And yeah, they know how to treat black women better
Okay, so
than black men.
back to my prior question. I said what
Propaganda,
at what point
propaganda.
at what point does hold on at what point does preference become prejudice? That is the perfect example. Okay, so she mentioned that she heard that white men are better for X, Y, and Z reasons. Now, I talk to a lot of people overseas, African women, especially East African women and some Southern African women, and I've heard that over and over again. They'll go for the European guy specifically because they somehow to them it represents wealth, and in their head they treat them better. They
What do you mean in their head? That's how they feel. It's not
well,
in
well
their head.
if that's how they feel, that's in their head, right?
Oh, it's how they feel. It's
Well, yeah,
real.
in their head. It's not
In their head, you're
That's
making it look like it's not real. They're
well
imagining
because
stuff.
because
That's
it
what you're
is
saying.
not
because
because it
it's a colonizer mindset.
no, it's not real. It's not real because you can't generalize and say, a person's going to do is better for these 5 reasons just because of their European or African.
But they've worked. Okay, but then apart from a few that haven't worked out, but a lot of them, I know like about 5 girls here that have married white men. They're comfortable. They're living well. They're okay. No issues. They have kids, and they're good.
So
Everything's
so
good.
understand this. Understand this.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
anybody says that a white man is better, a white woman is better, an Asian woman is better, or whatever, you have not dated all the women or men from that particular group. You have a small sample. So when I say that, it's in their head, that's something that they plant in their head. It's
It's
not
their
even
perception.
logical or reasonable that somebody would say that they treat them better. Because as my former
I don't
profession,
agree.
well,
I don't
hold on, let me
agree.
finish. But as my former from my former profession, I can tell
Okay.
you and this is the conversations I've had with African women from Kenya in Namibia and some of those over there. And they said, well, yeah, they're nicer, they're not violent. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna tell you this.
You're just against interracial relationship.
No, no,
That's it. I know.
it's not a
That's
personal
it.
thing. You can
It is.
do what you want, but I'm saying to you this: there's men of all groups that do the same thing. If I go to a domestic and there's a man beating on a woman, it's not always a black man. It's a white man. It's a Latino man. It's an Asian man. It's a an Indian man. So you can't. Nobody in there. Nobody can say that white men are better because this, and this, because you don't know. You don't.
No. So if I'm used to some certain kind of guys and they're the same type of way, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try the white man, and I feel like okay, it's better for me. He respects me. He does this. He does that. I'm gonna generalize.
You are.
So
You're gonna generalize, but
Yes, you
again,
did.
in
And that's
that's
specific
in your
to
head.
you.
Like I said, it's not. You cannot
if
make.
it has worked for me, it's not in my
But
head.
it is
If
in
it's
your.
working for
If it
me,
if
it's
it
not in my head.
if it works for you, that means it's in your head. If it's not working
Oh my
for
god.
if it's not working for Alexis or Joy or Dimitri or Paul, then obviously it's working for you. That's how you feel and how you believe.
Some people have black relationships that don't work out.
Okay, I've
So
had black relationships that didn't work out. I've had white
so
relationships
and
that didn't
then
work out.
yeah, and then you can say, oh, black women are not for me. I want to try white women.
And you know what? And I would say that
Mhm.
I'm wrong because I can't say that black women, because I haven't dated all black women, not even
Right.
a 0.0%, right?
Okay,
So you
well,
can't you
it's
cannot
it's
a
working
person
for
cannot
them, so
say
that's what matters.
it doesn't. It does, man. It's a matter of a simple logic. You cannot represent an entire group of people because you're basing it off of one relationship or two relationships that you've had. It could be you. You might be the problem, and I'm not saying you particularly. I'm saying the man or the woman who makes those statements. So but I'm glad you brought that up because that's important when it comes to that.
I
And
still
and
disagree, but it's okay. We can move on.
and that goes back to at what point does preference become prejudice? Because I
Boy,
think
boy,
that's
boy.
that's the
Woo!
point where it becomes prejudice, and we don't have to go over the definition of prejudice because
Woo!
it's a prejudgment, right? Simple logic. So, all right, now for interracial Dimitri's on here, I'm going to ask him that question.
Okay.
Do you have? Let me first of all, would you date outside your race, and do you have a preference, like a ranking order?
I would date outside my race because I give every woman a chance. And I do have a ranking order.
Okay.
Black, it goes black, Puerto Rican, Italian, um, I will say,
Now you're naming ethnic groups.
yeah.
Okay.
He got
I will
ethnic
say
specific.
black, Puerto Rican, Italian, Asian, and then white.
Okay. Italians are
That's
white.
a lie. He likes white women better. I know. I
He
would
like
know.
whites. He like
it's
white
it's
women better.
white women
Say it
first.
right. Say it
White
right if
women
you're gonna say
All
it.
first.
right. All right. So
That's a lie.
now
He
when we
didn't
say
say white at
do
first.
Yeah, he
interracial,
likes white women.
okay, do interracial couples have to work harder to understand each other culturally? And that one's for Hannah, because it goes back to what you said about your particular preference.
I didn't hear your question. What was it?
Do interracial couples have to work harder to understand each other culturally? And then I want you to answer that. Then I want to go
Definitely.
to Alexis.
Yes.
Alexis
Yes,
with that.
definitely.
Definitely. Okay.
Definitely.
That's a definite. Alexis, 'cause you and I had a similar conversation in the past.
So I'm answering the question, do they have to work harder?
Yes. To understand each other
Yeah,
culturally.
100% they have to work harder. Yes. I
Okay.
mean, there's so many differences that, yeah, I think that you gotta, they would have to work harder. But I will say this, they will have to work harder. However, if these people are very open-minded, which is I think it's challenging to get completely open-minded people on all subjects, that matter, then it might work easier. But it's rare that you get two people who are just that open-minded to just understanding the differences and being okay with that and being okay with change. So
Okay.
yes, I think it's harder.
And Joy, what do you say? You think it's those couples have to work harder?
No, it really depends on that particular person's background and upbringing.
Mm.
Because I'm black, but I've been raised predominantly with white kids in white schools where there's like I'm 50 kids in a class, I'm the only black. I mean, so I've mostly been brought up with white people. I'm used to white people, but I know about my blackness because my mom have instilled that in me and my father. And I took the time to research and know who my people are. I also grew up in two different areas of the country my entire life. So I know about the black community and what we do there. And I know what white people do in their community. So for me, it wouldn't be a difficult thing to put together or fuse together because I'm from both. I'm
Okay.
from both sides, but I am a black African American woman, and that's what I identify as.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say
Amen, sister. Amen.
I'm gonna say this now. These are things that I'm gonna say is difficult, and I'm gonna give you the reasons why. Um, just in food, the differences in food, how how food is prepared, religion,
Seasoned.
right? Religion,
Yeah, because
parenting
ain't nobody
styles,
eating that casserole.
right? Green bean casserole, right? The parenting styles, right? When I say these things, I want anybody who disagree with me to say, to chime in. But communication, how they communicate, holidays, how they handle holidays, or what holidays they celebrate, gender roles. Is it different between different cultures? And money habits. And I'm gonna say money habits, and I guess that goes to general too. But money habits is how different groups handle money, what they spend it on, what they feel is important. Anybody disagree with any of those things that I said?
I'm Joy. I
Nope.
do not disagree.
Okay.
I do not.
Nope.
I do not, especially in the food department. I do not disagree. I'm not eating
hey,
your
hey,
veal. Uh-uh.
hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. I want to chime in. I second Joy's thoughts on the last question that um when you said, is it harder?
Mm-hmm.
Is it harder? See, I'm like Joy in the fact that I went to school with predominant. I was like the only black person in a school of a class of 50 to 60 white people. But because I knew about my black history and I always done research, um, I knew about the struggles, the mistreatment and things like that. So I knew both worlds. I'm able to operate in both dynamics.
Okay.
So
Now, what
yeah.
about the other person? When you talk about a relationship, right? Let's say you're a black guy and she's a white woman. You were integrated onto both sides, thoroughly.
Yes.
What about her? So if she's not, and which is a big possibility, that means
Yes.
that she's not going to understand when the so-called black side comes out, right?
Oh, definitely,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Because
that
I've,
would
I've been in situations like that.
okay. So now talking about then here's the data. Here's where the controversy comes in, right? Some studies suggest interracial marriages dissolve at a somewhat higher rate than even same-sex marriages, right? So it's roughly like 41% versus 31% over 10 years in certain data sets. Now we already know that the divorce rates period are like close to is over 50%, and in some demographics is almost 60%. So why do you think some interracial pairings statistically divorce at higher rates? Now we're not talking about dating. Now we're talking about marriage.
The
Oh, wait,
families.
is this for everybody?
They got
Yes.
tired of that macaroni and cheese being put on the dinner table. That is
I
not a
think I
meal.
think
That is not a meal. I just want you to know that is
I
not
They
a
think
will
it's
meal.
say that's an
It will
entree
never be a
too. They
meal.
will say it's
It
an
is not a
entree.
meal. And yet white folks want to call that a meal. Honey, there's dinner, mac and cheese. Nah, 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 nothing, nothing.
All
I think
right.
it
So
come down
going
to
back to what I
I think
said,
it comes
food.
down to family problems.
Was that?
I think it end
Yes.
up being family problems. It comes down to the
Oh,
family problems
so you're saying that the family influence can wreck a
on both sides.
from both
Both
sides?
sides.
Okay.
That's gonna
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. I would buy into
Because
that.
in it, because in this society, and I'm talking from the United States perspective,
Hmm.
um, having a relationship with someone in the same sex is more acceptable than than having a interracial relationship based on the exterior, based on family, like Dimitri said,
Hmm.
based on family, culture, religion, environment, and the societal narrative.
Okay. So to put it in perspective, you're saying that if you had two black females from, let's say, a black community,
New York.
New York, okay, and they would be way more accepted than someone that was like a black man and a white woman. Guess who's coming to dinner type stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I would love to see a study, uh, a scientific study or a poll of some sort to actually ask to see what that's about. So that would be interesting. No, now here's my
I'd
disclaimer.
have to disagree on that. What Paul said for
Okay,
real.
go ahead.
I disagree. And this is the controversy. This is the real controversy.
Hmm.
Okay.
As as a black gay woman in America, I don't think it's because we are more accepted. I think it's because two gay women, even if it's a white woman, can understand that same struggle.
Okay.
Period. Across the
Okay.
board,
Okay.
they can understand that same struggle and have certain same backgrounds, like your coming out story,
Wow. Okay.
your
Okay.
first this, or all these different things. We have so many similarities that it's like when you get together with a person, these are the topics that we sit down, even if it was a table of gay people, whether it's men, women,
Right.
or it could be all of them at the same table. We all asking the same question, like, what was your struggle with this topic? What was your And so I think that, like, once again, when you cross ethnicities and races and things like that, it's like, wait a second, we didn't have the same struggle, and you're not going to,
Right.
because the world is already divided like that. But even if it's a gay woman and she's in Africa, or let's say South Africa, because I recently met a gay woman from South Africa. Same thing. We can talk about the just being specific, a coming out story. I can say, well, what was yours, and how was that, and how did your school deal with it? How did your parents deal with it? How did your friends deal with that? We can share similar things, but across races, you can't. It's less likely
Okay.
to be able to
Less
share.
in common.
I
So
can
So
see that.
so let me ask you this then.
I can.
You think when we talk about society, do you think they judge interracial couples differently depending on which races are involved?
Oh, of course,
Okay.
100%.
Absolutely.
Because two gay white men is more accepted than two gay black men. 100%.
Okay.
And this is a,
Oh
a
yeah.
conversation I've had in a room full of gays, and we all know it though. It's
Okay.
more accepted um, than it would be for
Absolutely.
two gay black men.
Now,
100%.
so let's say, I'm gonna give you an example, hypothetical. Would a black man and a white woman be accepted the same as a white man and a black woman?
No.
No. Okay.
No way.
Why?
And the slave master did.
Okay. Okay. So you say
Well,
who would get more flack? Which couple? Black man, white woman, white man, black woman.
Yes. The
I think
black
what
the black man, white woman.
Black man, white woman. Okay. Why do you say so?
No,
I think
no,
it's the other way.
no.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's the
No.
white man
No.
and the
Because
black woman because
no,
you
you got to
got
look at
more black black guys dating white girls Well,
But
now
yeah,
society
but you
that they're accepting.
but, but you got to look at the different sides. So if it's a black man and a black woman,
Mm.
the woman is going to catch the flash going to come from the
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 white community.
woman's going to catch a flat
Okay.
from the white community because if sometimes I look at these different posts
Mm-hmm.
and I look at the comments and like an interracial situation or they're posting their pictures or whatever. If you see the comments, oh, she's a mud shark.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be a single parent
Mm-hmm. I've heard
soon.
it.
Oh, he's gonna drive off, he's gonna leave to go get milk and never come back. These are
Right.
this is what's being said. I'm not saying that it won't be no pushback on the other side, but what I'm saying is that a black man and a white woman is going to catch more. Even though society's progressing, because as we get older, the younger generation is more likely to be accepting, but we still have we still have the old generation, the old guard that's still in control of the societal foundations in this country.
I'm gonna agree with you just from this aspect, and it goes way back. We have a lot of issues. We have a lot of race issues or tensions based on who we value. And I'm gonna give you an example. Going back into the 1800s, 1900s, 1920s, whatever. If a black man was with a white woman or whistled at a white woman or was accused of being with a white woman, the world stopped
Lynched.
here in the US. That was definitely
Yes.
not going to happen. And I think a lot of times we have a racial tensions because one group fears that, like you said, those comments you said, oh, she's going to be a single mother, or going back to this, and this goes back into more like a race debate or a race conversation, but they may fear that if their white woman gets with a black man, then you're basically erasing your entire legacy.
Lineage. Yes.
Right.
Yes. They're
Whereas,
insecurities.
and then when you go to, just to throw these in there, the Spanish or Latino community or the Asian community, I don't think they really feel that way. From what I've seen, on social media and stuff like that. So I do think it depends on which races are involved, and not just what races are involved. I think it's the dynamic of that, male female thing.
Yes. Yes. And we've had whole communities in the United States. We've had whole African American communities that were erased based on a white woman being with or like you said, thinking that a black man whistled at a white woman or stared at a white woman or made some type of romantic gesture towards a white woman. Whole communities were destroyed based on that. So when I say that, I'm not going off of I'm going off of
You going off
factual
past.
history.
Mm-hmm.
You going off the past. See, when I do it, I'm going off the future, like
No,
right now.
I'm going
You
off
know
the
what I mean?
past. I'm not going off the past because it's still relevant today.
Mm-hmm.
It's still. What I'm saying is that even though we're more progressive today, it's
Mm.
still relevant today. Look at society right now in this time today. I know we are open minded, we're progressive, but look at the powers that be that are in control today. I just wrote a post that said there's a man that said, a representative, he stated that he hopes the Supreme Court overturns the 14th Amendment. These are people that are in power and control of what goes on in this country. They don't like interracial relationships. Specifically, they don't like a black man and a white woman. Now, if a white woman and an Asian man walk down the street, that's acceptable.
Right.
If a Asian man and a white woman walk down the street, that's acceptable. If a black man and a white woman walk down the street, specifically in different areas, because once again, you got the East Coast, West Coast, you got the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
All
it's
different
still,
subcultures.
It's still different. It's still what's it? Standard operating procedures in these particular states. Even though the world may be progressive, they're not progressive.
All right. So you guys mentioned. I'm gonna go back to
I'm
this.
curious to hear what Hannah has to say on it.
On what specifically?
White man, black woman, black man, white woman.
Hannah, is if you have who's going to get more flack? A couple who has a black man, white woman, or a white man, black woman in Nigeria?
Black man, white woman, or white
black, white man, white man. Yeah,
white man. Most white man, black.
Is it all even?
I think probably white man, black woman.
White man, black woman. Okay. Now, since Alexis mentioned it for you, what I've observed was that for black men with white women was more acceptable, depend on where you are, even in Africa. But a white man with a black woman would be accepted in, like I said, in certain areas because of what they represent to them. And there's a whole backstory on why, but we'll get on that in a different podcast. But I wanted to talk.
For us, sorry. So for us, men. So because men are always men, they can do whatever they want to do. You know, so whatever they do is never really frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said what? Yeah, so that's why it's kind of different, but nobody really cares anymore these days. I don't think anybody really cares. And then most likely a black man with a white woman would definitely probably a black man with a white woman would definitely somehow in the background have a black side chick or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
but
that's usually the case.
You guys mentioned the past, and you mentioned Dimitri, I think, was mentioning progressive. That is, because everything's progressive is whatever.
Right.
So now my question is, in regards to that, are people more supportive of interracial dating in theory more than in real life? For example, when I said I can easily say love is love. Love who you want. It shouldn't matter. Nobody. That's who you love. You can't control that. I could say that easily. I could say that because the theory is you want everybody to be equal, and we accept people as equal. We want to treat everybody with respect, and you want that given back. But in real life, does that really happen? Right. So do you think society in general, all those people who are saying, hey, love everybody the same and it doesn't matter, whatever, does it matter when it comes into their family?
I want to hear from Joy on that.
Joy, but let's hear from Joy. Is it more theory or real life?
You have to repeat the question because I lost you for a minute.
Okay, so we was talking about people are being that are more supportive of interracial dating in theory, like when somebody says, love is love or whatever, right? Is that more theory or is it actual real life?
I think it's actual real life.
Okay.
I think it's actual real life. People really they're becoming that they don't really care that much in certain communities. They just don't care.
Okay. Anybody disagree with that?
I was going to disagree until she said the key word.
What?
In certain communities.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with that because, I think in public and in interpersonal, relationships, we want progressive people. We want to say everybody's equal and everybody should be loved and respected, and we might have that same intention. But let's go with even with the white guy, the white man who's the progressive liberal, right? He may have the feeling that, okay, that's fine, but if I don't want my son or my daughter, marrying a black man or black woman because it changes their culture. They lose their identity, and I think that that's a fear of people. Not saying that they don't like other people, but when it comes to home, your own house, I think things change a bit. And I'm saying not all communities, but
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
matters. It matters. And I'm gonna give you myself my example. I don't care my kids who they date. As long as they respect them, whatever. But when it comes down to it, I have a preference because I want my lineage to embrace their culture. That's what I
Okay.
want. So
Right.
I'm not going to say don't date this person or that person or disrespect them or anything like that. But when in real life applications, I would prefer somebody to come in to the family or their life, that have a respect or for the culture, that want to learn more about the culture and pass that down to future generations. And it's not me saying I don't like other cultures, but I would like to preserve my particular culture, especially considering that as Black Americans, we're still learning our culture. We're still learning our ancestry. So I think in a lot of cases that makes a difference. And that same thing applies to, say European folks, like the white man. If he's every day, not every day, but if he's going out there and he's celebrating his Irish, such and such and Mech this and, O'Hara this, and he's Irish, 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 I guarantee you that he would prefer, not saying that he would be, biased against, but he would prefer his daughter or his son to marry somebody a good Irish woman, or how the Jewish people would say,
No, no doubt.
he's a
Yep.
good Jewish boy. They
Yep.
want to preserve that culture or religion,
Exactly.
right? So I think basically I'm gonna say that is more in theory than it is in real life. So now bringing the subject of children, right? This is going along. I'm gonna end with children. So
The children.
the children. All right. Do interracial couples have unique parenting challenges? And this is in regards to raising biracial children, the identity confusion, the cultural balance, the hair, the language or traditions. Do they have a unique parenting challenge? I want to go with Joy on this one.
I would say they usually tend to lean toward, I don't know. I have interracial nephews and nieces, and I don't know. I don't see them. I don't know which one they embrace the most. It just seems like they just enjoy being who they are. I don't. I don't see them saying they're more black or they're more white,
Hmm.
or I don't see the parents raising them as more black or more white. They
So
just live and try to live and
So you don't think the
yeah.
parents will have a unique challenge now, considering the kids starting when they're toddlers and growing up in school, high school, whatever? You don't think they would have a bigger challenge versus someone of all the same culture?
I think they would have a challenge. I think they would.
Mm.
I think they would.
Now, and all right, so
I want to speak on this.
okay,
I think they would have more of a challenge. And then I saw something a long time ago on this, but the challenge is, when they go to school, how other people perceive them. And
exactly.
especially if they're in school. I mean, some of them are homeschooled or whatever the case, everybody's a little different, but like how they are perceived by their peers,
Hmm.
and or how they feel about themselves, whether they feel like they're more black or they're more, white presenting or something like that. I think it makes it more challenging because then it's like the parent is like, look, I'm trying to show you that love is love and none of that shit matters. But then the kids are feeling, so the logic is love, right? Like you said, the theory. But then the kids are like, but I feel we're not talking about logic. So I think sometimes the challenges for the parent and the kid could be they're speaking on two different languages. When you speak on logic, that's one thing. When you speak on how you feel about things, it's a whole nother thing. And if the parent is Black and obviously the child is biracial, then it's like there's some things that the parent doesn't actually necessarily understand, possibly because it's like, I don't know what it's like to have your appearance just on a surface level affect other people and what they think about you.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Or even how you feel about, oh well, I'm also white, or just give an example. And like some people, I'm going to a predominantly white school, but they're like, nah, you're not white because you don't look like us, you don't act like us, you're
Right.
not, and so there's this fence that they're on, that they're like, well, I'm not white, or I'm not Black, I'm both. And so they don't feel like they fit in on either side. And so I think in raising them, it's a challenge for parents to be able to once again share the same feelings,
Okay.
some of those subjects, and so it's harder to connect with their child. That's what.
So I'm gonna assume like just a yes or no answer for this one. Should parents in an interracial family teach both sides? And when I say teach both sides, I mean go out of their way to equally teach both sides of their culture to their kids. Paul, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Dimitri, yes or no?
Yes.
Joy, yes or no?
Yes.
Alexis, yes or no?
Yes.
Hannah, yes or no?
Yes, but wait, I wanted to say something before prior. No, I wanted to talk about that. I want to say that mostly the kids in it, biracial kids are usually they always lean if their mothers are Black, they always lean towards their mother's culture
Mm-hmm.
more than their father's culture. Like the mother is the one that takes care of them
Okay.
and teaches them. So mostly a lot of times, and what I've seen is they mostly lean
Toward
towards
the
their
mother.
mother's culture.
Okay.
Yes. Thank
So I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to add this in there. So in Southern African countries or Southern African tribes, you are part of your father's tribe. Okay. So that means, let's say, for example, South Africa or Eswatini or Zimbabwe, if a European man comes in and gets married to or has a child with someone who's from that area over there, they're not considered part of that tribe. So they're considered part of the
father's
husband's
tribe.
yes.
Correct.
So
But I'm saying language wise and every because your mother speaks to you more, is home with you more. So
right.
language you tend to learn her language, tend to learn the food and all of that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap it up with this because I know we went kind of long on this, but last two questions, and it kind of builds on what we said before. Is love enough? With all we said, is love enough when two people come from completely different worlds? Is that enough to make things successful? Paul,
I believe so.
okay, so you said love is enough. Okay, Dimitri, I'm gonna ask you why later, but Dimitri,
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think love is enough if they two people come from completely different.
cultures. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joy,
We'll go yes.
yes. Okay. Alexis, I don't want to keep saying Alexa. Alexis,
No.
no. Okay. Hannah,
No.
is love enough?
Yeah. For the most part.
Okay. So I'm gonna say I agree with Alexis. See, this is why Alexis must have been my daughter in another lifetime. So I want to say this because love is not enough to be successful in a relationship, regardless of the dynamics, whether it's straight, gay, biracial, interracial. I don't think love is enough to make a relationship successful. My statement that I would say to some people, whether I was discussing their situation or my situation, I use that little statement. What's love got to do with it? Because that's not going to carry a relationship. So anybody here, and I think
Love should have brought you home last night.
Money ain't gonna do it either.
Well, but
No,
now who
reason.
here? All right, let me see. One, Joy, you, Paul, Hannah, you guys were married. No, I don't want to talk to the married people. Anybody who's divorced.
I'm
I'm
divorced.
not married.
You're divorced. Okay,
I'm not married.
okay. I mean, well, you were. So,
Oh yeah, I was.
was love enough to keep your marriage successful?
Hell no.
Okay, okay,
No, I'm gonna tell you why. And there's a caveat to that.
okay.
The reason why I said love is enough because if you love that person enough, then you will go and take the time to communicate more and do the other things. In my situation, I would say we didn't love each other enough. I'm being real.
Keep it a
Obviously,
buck.
the love wasn't as strong as it should have been.
Okay.
Because if the love was strong, then those other factors that are add-ons to love to make it work.
Okay. Now, Joy, you said you're divorced, or you were married.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a chance to go back on your statement. Was love enough to make that relationship successful?
It would have been if there would have been some love there,
See?
but there
Well,
wasn't no love.
but it was love at one point, right?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Okay. So you got me on that one. All right. So
Love at first sight.
yeah, I'm going to say that in any relationship, love is definitely not enough. It is definitely because there's a whole bunch of other factors that come into that, and I think you can point to arranged marriages that have the highest, well, I'm gonna say, have the lowest divorce rates, and their divorce rates are like 4% or less, right? And when you're talking about just that arranged marriages or the traditional marriages, they don't care about love because they said love will come later, but they care about certain things that what things are in place for you to
Transactional.
exactly. So if you're a man and you're going into a relationship and you're the breadwinner, you're doing all the things that they think that a man should do, and the woman's doing all the things that the woman should do, and after a while there's a mutual respect, obviously, and that turns into love, and things are working. But if you go into a relationship where you love that person, you truly love that person, that other person truly loves you, and y'all got some issues, whether it be financial, emotional, baggage coming from the past, your relationship is doomed.
So
So
for me, so I want to go back on what you said. So
okay,
it's love enough in a racial interracial relationship. It's different from is love enough generally in a relationship. Is love enough in an interracial
yes,
relationship in the sense that I love you enough to want to go head to head with my family, to want to do that's what it means.
right,
It's different from general love
right.
of a relationship. So there are two different things you're talking about.
But we're talking about the is love enough for when it's two people from
You
come
started
from
with
completely.
interracial. You started with interracial.
Well, let me
So
finish. Let me finish.
okay.
Is love enough when two people come from completely different worlds? Okay, so I said that, and you guys made your comments. So I said
I say you
no.
disagree.
I said no because that aside is not enough in a regular, a common, whatever relationship. So it's even more difficult when you come from completely different worlds. So I definitely think love is not enough because there's a lot of things that you need in there to make that successful. You have to have some type of extra, learning, right? Extra.
It's because of love. That's why you're going to learn about those people. It's because of love. Yeah. So think about it
No,
too.
I,
So
I,
yeah,
I,
that's your opinion. That's your opinion,
I,
and that's my opinion. So that's fine.
well, okay, you made your opinion. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
saying that I disagree with because of what I said. It's always more difficult when you have those things in there that make your relationship rocky, right? So okay, then the last one
Yeah,
is oh, go ahead.
I thought you was talking about general. I thought you was talking about general love.
That's what I thought
No,
too.
no, no,
Yeah.
no,
So that's he
no, no,
turned it
no.
to general. It was
Love. We, we
interracial
we
first.
don't we don't care about general love when we talk about relationships because you transcend general love or you wouldn't be in a relationship. So we're talking about
No, no,
love.
no, no.
Yeah, different question.
No, I
That's what I'm
thought you was
saying.
talking.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about. I didn't. I didn't
He
think you
didn't
was
know it was
talking about.
interracial. He's
Is
talking about
love
interracial
enough?
love.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The question was, and you answered it. The question was when two people come from different worlds. Okay, so obviously they come from different worlds. They're going to be. It could be cultural, interracial, whatever. So, and you said love is enough. I said
No. So then I would change it because because if they come from different cultures, different worlds, yeah, love is not enough.
okay, okay, and
Yeah,
only
love is not enough.
the only thing I said to add on to that was because that kind of disregard that is that because in regular relationships there's is not enough. It's not enough from regular relationships. So when you
Yeah.
add the different worlds, that makes it even more complicated,
Yeah.
more difficult. So
Yeah, I was talking about my situation because we came from the same world and it was supposed to be enough.
okay,
It
so
was supposed to be, but
all right. Now here's my closing question. If two people genuinely love each other, should race matter at all, or is pretending race doesn't matter unrealistic? So this is an opinion question. Paul, since you're there, answer that for me.
okay. You said
If two people genuinely love
people,
each other, should race matter at
right?
all, or is pretending race doesn't matter unrealistic?
Pretending race doesn't matter is unrealistic, and because two things can be true. Pretending race doesn't matter is unrealistic, and also if two people genuinely love each other, race shouldn't matter. So I believe two things can be true.
Okay. Okay. So you think just to clarify, you think two people generally love each other, race shouldn't matter at all.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. Okay.
It shouldn't matter. But
I think that
pretending
shit
that race doesn't
unrealistic,
matter
man.
is unrealistic.
All right, Alexa, go
You see
ahead.
what I said?
No. Yeah,
Two things can be true.
okay, you saying two? Okay, Alexa.
I agree. Two things can be true, but I think the bigger thing is this shit is unrealistic. If you're gonna sit here and
It
pretend like
is.
race don't fucking matter, that's like saying. But listen, that's like saying, oh, I don't see color. So
Right.
nigga, you don't see me.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It is unrealistic. It is. That's why I
You don't
said.
see me.
That's why I said.
Right. It's
Yeah. That's
very
why I said two
but I
things.
think the unrealistic part is bigger than the genuine. Like I genuinely love you. I have this strong feeling for you. But I think the bigger part is yes, it's unrealistic.
Okay.
Period. I
Okay.
think
I
that's bigger
agree.
than the general love.
And I
I
guess the
agree.
question is really posed to people who who'll say we generally love each other, so we don't see race, we don't care about race, and it shouldn't matter. Versus that that's definitely unrealistic. What do you say, Joy?
Yeah, it's unrealistic. People see it. Even if they say they don't, they see it.
Okay,
They see race. They see it.
Dimitri, and don't be going back. I want you to tell the truth.
I want no. Listen, I'm gonna have to go with Alexis because she said everything that I was gonna say. Because you can't pretend like you don't. At some point, even when you get in an argument, you're gonna see it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you
So
saying you'll see the stereotypes, you'll see everything.
it's gonna come up a lot.
Okay,
But I mean,
all right, Hannah, what do you say?
No, I don't.
It
I
don't
don't
matter.
know.
Next, no, I'm joking. Go ahead.
We listen and we don't judge.
Judge. Thank you.
Brian, can I give
That's
you an example of what
unrealistic.
I'm
That's
talking about,
Wait a minute.
real quick?
Go ahead, Hannah. I want you, Hannah, answer this real quick.
I don't have an answer.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Stop being a fence sitter. And is it realistic, or does it matter if two people love each other and that's all they should
So I
think about?
cannot. So everything everybody's saying, you say race, but the only other race everybody's talking about is obviously the white race. So I
No.
don't know.
Okay. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
because if you say you see color, you don't see me. So that's like it's
Pl-
just like white. That's the only
plug
other
in a
race that.
plug in an Asian person. Plug in a Latino person. Okay, it doesn't matter. Or make it a white person or Asian person. Doesn't matter. Is pretending race doesn't matter unrealistic? Or do you think that they should go in there with the whole mindset that oh, we love each other and race really doesn't matter?
I don't know. It does. It does and doesn't.
Oh Lord, fence sitters.
I got an
I'm on the
example for
fence.
you.
All right, Dimitri, go ahead.
Can I give you an example real quick?
Wait. Oh,
Sure.
wait. All right. So wait.
Try to
I'm
try.
curious. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So if you in a relationship, just say I'm in a relationship with a white woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do that. I just love there or whatever, not the unrealistic thing, right? So when we around the house, she's like saying, "Hey, I love you, you my nigga." You know what I'm saying, this and that, whatever. Soon as we get an argument, and then she say, "Dad, nigga, why you didn't do that?" Then, or it's a couple of minutes into the argument, I'm gonna go off
Okay.
because now I'm looking at it like, "Oh, you calling me a nigga?" You see what I'm saying?
So you
That's
you
why
say when it hits the fan, and like I said, I said on the last podcast.
it's always gonna be in the back of your head. It's always gonna be
Okay.
there.
Okay.
That's why it's unrealistic.
Okay. So
But once
So
again, like I
nigga, for me,
said,
like nigga doesn't affect me. So that's what I'm saying. So I cannot
You a
really
birdie,
judge.
that's why.
you're very so
So so it doesn't really, if you say I'm a nigga or whatever, it doesn't, like how it affects like Americans,
so wait a
doesn't
minute.
really
Hold on.
affect
Let
me.
me let's deep dive into that. Forget all that we just
Yeah.
said. You just said if your spouse, you're in a, let's say you're married to a white guy, and
Yeah.
he calls you a nigger. That doesn't
I'm gonna
bother
say
you.
it's a white trash.
That
So
doesn't
yeah.
no. But you said that wouldn't bother you.
Okay, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Just checking.
I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Exactamundo.
All right. So
I
Birdie's
want to
flying
hear
now.
that one.
this has been an interesting conversation, and I think it led to a lot of other questions that could be asked. And I didn't get to ask everything because
Yeah, but why would I be in a relationship with someone that will call me a nigger in the first place?
well, you
I
like,
don't know.
but you don't know until that happens. So, and here's my statement, and I said this to in every debate that we talked about. You don't know who you have or what you have until you guys go through some times of adversity. It's always good
Yes.
and sunny days and when everything is good and you're riding a wave.
Exactly.
But when that storm comes and them rough seas come, whatever,
Yep.
that's when you know what you have and who you have. Okay, and I think that goes with
That's
in
why.
anything. What are you saying?
That's why Dimitri said. That's why he said that because he got in an argument with the white girl. She called him a nigga.
Nah, nah, get out of here, man.
Yeah,
Get out.
I agree.
That's exactly what happened.
No. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
Dimitri likes the white
No,
girl.
I was just
Makes
trying to
sense.
make a point because if you don't see color and you try to say love is all that matters, you know what I'm saying. So if she's walking around, she's like, "You my nigga," I love you, this and that. You
But
gonna
he
let it
didn't
fly.
say.
But then
But he
when
didn't
y'all get in
say.
an
But he
argument,
didn't say.
you gonna say what you
But
call
the
me.
que- but the question wasn't. The question was not that love is all that matters. See, he said, "Does love matters?" I don't know, but he said, "I said two things can be true. In theory, love should that should be the only matter. But to pretend that that race isn't a fact, it is unrealistic.
Okay, so then
Right.
in that case, it's not a both, it's an or, because you're
Okay.
not, you can't say race should race matter at all, right? Or versus pretending race doesn't matter is unrealistic. So is it either or? That's a question that you really can't have two truths to. So I'm going to say you're taking a ladder that it is, doesn't really matter. So I mean that is unrealistic. So I want to thank you guys for coming out. I need a word of the day. Joy, can you give me a word of the day? Because in our episodes, if those viewers or listeners get the word of the day for each episode in a month, they have to email us to get for a chance to compete for a prize. Now, the email is unfiltered.psycho4081@gmail.com. Okay. But if you get the word of the day for the month, I guess this is May or even April, email us with those words of the day, and you'll have a chance to win a prize. First come, first serve. So give us a word of the day.
Intentional.
Intentional. Okay. The word is intentional. The word of the day. And you guys, thank you for coming, and check out the next episode.
I love you and you love me. Let's make our own family. I know we both want it. Love openly and flaunted. I don't care what people say. The same problem still today. There will be adversity. It shows what you have in me. Outsiders will make it hard. Let's not get mentally scarred. Some people will never change. That's cool, stay in your own lane. Love is not enough. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, rich or poor. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. Everyone sees color, it matters, that I'm sure. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. You can't pretend not to see me for love to endure. There's people who won't like you, regardless of what you do. It doesn't matter to me. Just be who you wanna be. People wanna stop and stare, whisper words, but we don't care. It's the opinions you give. We have our own lives to live. Try to ridicule and shame, looking for someone to blame. Worry about your own life. You'll find enough stress and strife. Love is not enough. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, rich or poor. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. Everyone sees color, it matters, that I'm sure. Love is not enough. We both need a little bit more. You can't pretend not to see me for love to endure.